Hey guys, welcome to the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. We're going to go live here shortly as soon as Gerry Cooney joins the show. I wanted to get in earlier because I just want to make sure that I have enough of time to go over certain things. Today Gerry has a hard out at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to get as much as I can accomplished in that time. Hopefully, if there's any questions that I can ask him, please do so in the comments and I will get to them as soon as I can. Some of the house cleaning I want to do April 27th. Tickets are not on sale yet. They will be shortly. I'll be getting back in the ring against Sean McFadden. It's the second time. The rematch that was supposed to happen in 2020. Obviously, COVID had a big impact on that, and it forced us not to have that fight. We had to take a 4-year hiatus before the show came to fruition. We're still going to wait here for a little bit to see Gerry to come on. But if there's any questions right now, I know he has a hard out. I'll try to get them together. We want to ask him about the upcoming fights with Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, his opinion on Tyson Fury and Usyk, a couple other things too, the Haney Garcia match, and what's different now. Stuff like that I want to get into with him. Hopefully, he gives us the answers that we can kind of go with and see what it's like to be someone like him. That way, he has been a tremendous legend in the sport. He's helped us tremendously on the amateur level. He goes to a lot of the shows. He sponsors a lot of fighters and what have you. Try to do couple things with the pension program in boxing because he is for all the fighters. A great guy to have in your corner, and something that I think me myself have always looked forward to speaking to. Now, I met him a little while back. He was visiting Scranton. There was an Irish Boxing Club show where Gene Reed and Doug Long put on there. They do some shows every year. They do one especially with the Irish boxing team, comes over from Ireland, and they fight the fighters from Scranton, and it's always pretty successful. Not so much a thing where the rivalries are there. It's kind of like a tradition to bring them over. They do a great job putting the fights on. Doug this year gave away a ton of stuff. He had video cameras, televisions. He had tickets. He had Chromebooks, and they do a good job up there. So you have to support that for them. They definitely do a lot for the town of Scranton, and that is where I met Gerry. And I don't know if I'll go too much into his career. That's something that I want to leave for another date, just because it's going to take a while. Gerry has a lot of stories. I think one of the things that I want to do is put Gerry. I want to pick Gerry's brain about what's going on now, and hopefully, we can kind of dissect how he's thinking about the fights coming up in the near future. We do have a lot coming up. We have Haney, Garcia, a couple other people coming down. A lot of heavyweight fights that are going to kind of clear out the logjam there as to who's fighting who. I'm anxious to see his opinion on the Joshua and Ngannou fight. I'm leaning both ways, and sometimes I just don't know because you never know with Anthony Joshua which one will show up. Hopefully, undoubtedly, we'll have a good fight, which is what I hope realistically would happen. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting here on Gerry Cooney to come on. A couple of interesting notes of late with Gerry is he. Oh, where is this now? There we go. Okay, so we have that on there. A couple of interesting notes, honestly, with Gerry's. He was right there in the middle of the mix in the early 80s, and he did fight in the 90s, but he was in the mix there. He challenged twice for heavyweight title. He was KO'd, but still to get that far, someone who's there. The Great White Hype thing was not, I didn't like that. At the time I was young, so at my, what was I, 10? I really didn't know too much about that. But certainly a big part of heavyweight boxing. Gerry, we're still waiting on him. And until we get him on, we can't really do too much. This is what happens when you have a live show. A lot of people definitely have questions here, and I will try to get as many as I can in. I'll wait when he comes on. We'll go to a break quick, and we'll bring him right back on because that'll be the it'll be kind of the intro that we can do a proper intro for Gerry. He's probably getting on now. It seems a little bit. It's always tough when you adjust. I mean, he does do a lot. But he does have people that has production for him. So he definitely might have to do this himself. And it's a StreamYard account where you have to put on little things and go hit buttons and whatnot. I'm still excited to hear from a friend of mine who's going to have a big fighter come on for us in March, which is right around the corner. Actually, a couple weeks from now, we'll have him on, and I'm excited for that. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. He's a huge star over in Ireland. We still wait on Gerry Cooney here. And unfortunately, he has a hard out at 3:00. I know that. So I'm going to try to go right in as I can with whatever we can get. I know you guys have questions. I appreciate that. But I'm going to try to get as much as I can on here. I'll absolutely try and see what he is doing now. Many other news going on in the boxing scene that I could talk about. I know Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney still on the schedule. Don't know if that's something that is. I fear that fight won't come off only because of the mental stability of Ryan Garcia. But as of right now, 420 is the day, and then you have to look at what's coming up next. After that, who gets the tank fight? That's the one that everybody wants. Still waiting here for Gerry Cooney. This is what happens with live streaming. Sometimes people aren't on. I know we have some questions here. I'll try to get to you if I can. Gerry, I know, has a hard out, and unfortunately, I have to go by his rules because he has a radio show on Sirius XM, channel 156. It's on Fight Nation, and can't post. Okay, yeah, there's definitely people on there and not. Oh, we're still waiting here on Gerry. When he comes on, we'll go to a commercial quick. It'll only be 30 seconds, if that. 15 seconds, I think it is. It's 15 seconds, the commercial. And once we do that, then we'll start the show with him. He called yesterday to confirm everything, so I'm confident he will be here. When he confirms, he's usually right on. Although I haven't, maybe let me check my text messages. Let me check just in case. Nothing so far. He has not called. He has not texted. So we'll see. I don't know if someone in the back there has any information of where he is. That way we can get that to you guys as soon as possible. So if you have the questions now, I don't know if I should take them. One of the questions was here. Who do you see, Garcia or Haney? I spoke about that before on a podcast before. I do see Devin Haney. If this fight does come off, I'm not certain the fight does come off because of the mental stability of Ryan Garcia. There's a lot of talk that there's something in the works there. Not sure if that's true or not, or just hogwash. People just putting it out there. If it was to come off, this is going to be Devin Haney's going to wash him. It is not going to be close. It's not a fight that is going to be remotely close. I know people may or may not say that, but that is what it's going to be. I'm going to resend the link to Gerry right now. I think he's just getting ready to get on here. And quickly what I'll do is put him right there. And one more time, send the link to him, and hopefully he comes on. Let's see. Hopefully he comes on. We got straight out of Jersey. Garcia's not fought anybody. Yes, he has not fought anybody. Well, he fought Duarte, but that wasn't a significant fight for him. That kind of was what I thought was going to happen. Not a great fight. Jersey Jay-Z here on the line. I think he's here. That was his comment there. And Jersey Jay-Z, I think we'll be having Greg on live on Thursday. Greg, we're going to try to get him on. The GoFundMe's still up for Greg Valentino. One of our first, well, he was our first guest, but one of our favorite guests. Still recovering from a very serious infection. I don't know how well he was. I know my brothers talked to him. Hopefully, they can get on and redo and come in and redo a show together, because I know it didn't come off last week where I had to fill in, and I was not that good. So this is confirmed. All right, so 5 minutes ago, Greg Valentino has confirmed, straight out of Jersey Jay-Z, will have Greg live on Thursday, this Thursday. Jersey, if you can give me a time, I could put that up so that people can put that in the schedule for them, and hopefully they can watch him there and support him. I know he's going to. I'm going to try to get it so that they can take calls. And 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. on Thursday, Greg Valentino will be on with the Jersey Jay-Z, and that will be Thursday, correct? He'll be on with Jersey Jay-Z, and hopefully, hopefully he gets a chance to do that. He can come on, he can talk, he could, I know there's so many people giving him well wishes and what have you. We appreciate that, and again, the GoFundMe page is there, and hopefully he'll come through this better than ever. And that'll be good. The StreamYard is open. If anyone wants to come on, pop on for a minute before Gerry gets on here. StreamYard.com. You can click on that link in the comments. Jump on for a few seconds before Gerry joins us here. Once he does, he will be able to talk to him, and we shall see. Still no comment here for Gerry. Where the heck are you, Gerry? Still looking for Gerry Cooney. Hopefully he'll come on here in a few minutes and tell us how it's going. I'm going to step away for a second here, do one little thing, and come right back at you guys. Give me 2 seconds. We are back. Still waiting. The heavyweight contender Gerry Cooney to come on to the podcast live, and he is not here. I'm trying. Let me see. Calling a few people there. If anybody's on the line now, they can call in now. The link is in the description there and in the comments. Call in. You could click on there and you'll be online with us. Hopefully, Gerry can get here soon. I know he has a hard out at 3. So it's already 1:45. We could only have about a few minutes with him. And if he can get on, that would be great. I'm still checking my text message. I did not see him. He has looked at it. So I'm not sure. Not sure. Not the best here at this. Sometimes it could be technology. Technology sometimes does things like that to people who can or cannot get on either or. Again, comments there. Any comments there, I'll read them, but some of them are generally towards Gerry. I got a bunch of comments that I have to give to Gerry or questions to give Gerry, but I want to wait until he comes on. And if we do have time, I will get to the comments and the questions. But I'm not guaranteeing anything because he's up against. He has a radio show that goes on. It goes on every Tuesday through Thursday. So I'm gonna check one last time to see if there was a miscommunication. No, it's there. It is there. I will have to see if Gerry can get in contact with me because I do have at about 3:15. I'll have to get something taken care of too. So I actually have a hard out at 3:15. So really, it would be probably 15 minutes of Gerry Cooney. I'd like to have him. If he can't, I would have him come back. I will text him again. Let's see. Thank God there's nobody here watching because I'm drowning. Here, let me see if there's anything on the live. Because who knows? It doesn't seem to be affecting anything here as far as the show. There is not much. There really isn't much happening. Hopefully Gerry can come on. I just texted him, asked if he was coming on. He does usually respond to me right away, and he is not, unbelievably. But either or is something may have come up. We're not sure. He usually is right on there, and unfortunately, he is not. I don't know if I should call him or not. Well, let's see. I don't want to FaceTime him. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is here with Gerry. But at least it's not a lot of people here on the chat. The questions are the ones that I got a lot of, and that's really that's what I wanted to get to Gerry with. But hopefully, we can get on with the show. Hopefully, at some point here, he can get on and go live, and we can definitely put together a good show. He does have a hard out at that 3:00, so I'm just nervous that I may not be able to get the questions that I wanted to get answered to Gerry. But if I can, I will do as best I can. I'm not sure where Gerry is. We did text him. He has read the text, and and I didn't know if I was going to sit there and maybe talk with him. Should probably call him, and that would probably be it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to mute here and see if I can call him. Well, guys, it was my fault. Gerry will be joining us very shortly, and when he does come on, I don't know if the link was wrong or what have you. We'll get it on there, but he does have the link. He's waiting for me, and I am. I sent him the link. It did not say. He clicked the link. He said he's waiting in the backstage. I don't know. Oh, wait a second here. Okay. There he is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to a quick break, and I will be back with Gerry Cooney on the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. Gerry, that was my fault there. I could not. I apologize to get John, but we are glad to have you. We know you have a hard out there at 3:00, so I want to get this going as soon as I can.
Yeah.
If those of you don't know, Gerry Cooney joins the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. Gerry, how are you?
I'm great. I've been busy doing a lot of good stuff. I'm on a Sirius XM too on Mondays and Fridays from 12 to 2 on channel 156, talking
Fight
about
Nation.
boxing.
Fight Nation, talking there, 156 on Sirius XM. Gerry, we met a little while ago there in Scranton, Pennsylvania. You were out there to see the Irish Boxing Club.
Sure, it was great.
And great shows that they put on every year. And I kind of try to pick your brain a little bit, but I wanted to get you on my show so I can actually go through it a little bit better with you.
Great.
First thing that's coming up first, March 8th, Francis Ngannou taking on Anthony Joshua. Now, that's a fight where I wanted to ask you, do you think that's a good or a bad thing for boxing at this point?
Well, I think what Tyson Fury did with Ngannou was very embarrassing to the game. I think it's a perfect fight for Joshua right now. I think he should beat this guy. He's got all the power. Ngannou has got a punch, but everyone's got a punch. You know, he's got to back Ngannou up. You know, bang him to the body, slow him down. Ngannou can't doesn't have the endurance to go 3-minute rounds.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay. Now, do you think Joshua can back him up though?
I do. I saw him with Usyk. I thought, wow, you know, he's fighting the perfect boxer in Usyk. And how do you try and box the perfect boxer? You got to take it to him. You know, for 9 rounds, he was behind, lost, was losing. You know, you think that you go back to the corner and the corner and say, okay, forget the plan. Let's go fight him. Let's go get to his body. Let's bang him in the body, hit him on the chin. Had he done that, he could have kept his championship, in my opinion. But he tried to be a slick boxer and fight the slickest boxer there is.
Yeah, and Usyk does have very good boxing skills, and I think that's what really gave him the advantage in that fight. I think sometimes when you have that kind of power, you kind of rely on that a little bit too much. Someone like you had that kind of power, but you yourself had tremendous boxing skills.
Well, yeah, but my job was to get to the body, to land the shot, to get him to drop his hands, to find an opening, to create an opening. And you know, Joshua that night fighting Usyk both times, it was silly. I don't know what. And the trainer said after the fight, "Oh, he did everything we wanted him to do." Well, you know, when you're fighting a guy like that, after the 8 or 9 rounds, you're so behind. Go get him. Go tire him out. Bang him around. Bang his ribs, his shoulders, his arms, his hips. You know, slow him down in the corner, then take care of him. We didn't see that. We hope to see that with Ngannou. If he's going to try and box Ngannou, which I think he might, I'm not sure how that'll go.
Let me ask you this. What happens if Ngannou does win?
That's crazy. Well, if Ngannou wins, there's a whole host of new, younger guys coming up the ladder that are good fighters. I mean, look at that guy from China, right? He's an old guy. He's an old guy, but he can fight. and
Mhm.
he would love to get a fight with Ngannou. There's so many guys who like to get those fights. If you look at the heavyweight division, there's
Mhm.
all these tough new guys, 6'7", 6'8", 260, 270 pounds, that are real fighters, went through
Mhm.
the system, went through system, and Ngannou has some skills, but not to the level of world class, in my opinion.
But he does have that punch that I think, and I know it heavyweights, they all punch hard, and it's just some
So
punch
does
harder
that.
than others.
Well, so doesn't Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I agree in that
What
that
happened to
sense.
him? What happened to him?
Deontay Wilder ran into, got to think, a little overconfident in his punch, in my opinion. I think he kind of waited.
Overconfident. He fought Joseph Parker, who he didn't have a clue what to do with Joseph
Mhm.
Parker. And so anyway, Ngannou's a tough guy. He can punch. So what? A lot of
Right.
people could punch. Ernie Shavers could punch. How did he do with Ali? How did he do with Holmes? How did he do with those guys? So you understand, like it's um it's a great event for over there in across the water, but I feel like that boxing is way bigger than UFC.
I feel this. I think the problem with boxing is they can't all get on the same page. UFC, they're on the same page because they're run by one company, one guy. That's
Well, yeah,
that's the biggest problem.
I understand that, but if you look at the 140 pounders, you look at the
Yeah.
135 pounders, there's 10, 12, 15 guys who can fight,
Oh yeah.
as well as Canelo. And look at, they got Morale, Dave Morale at 168. Oh, Dave Morale's 160, but you got David Benavidez, you got so many guys. So,
Right.
but in UFC, you got one or two or three maybe that people really know, or at
Mhm.
least not me. I mean,
Right.
I don't follow it that closely, but it's a great
Um,
sport. They're doing a great thing for them people. I don't like the part where you get maimed. And, this referee is doing a way better job, thank God, but it's a
mhm.
dangerous sport. I remember
Tremendous.
watching John Jones get kicked in the shin. Do you remember that? And his
John Jones.
I think it was John Jones, and his bone snapped in half.
That was McGregor. Conor McGregor
No,
did
no,
that.
no, no. Oh, Conor
Uh,
McGregor didn't do that. No, 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 no. It was another
McGregor got
fight.
uh there was there was two people who just recently got that broken.
This was a while
Oh,
ago, but
Anderson Silva. Anderson
Anderson
Silva.
Silva, his leg snapped in half, and he
Yes,
tried to
correct.
stand on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
that
take
wasn't good.
elbows to the head, and it's a very brutal, dangerous sport.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. You were just talking briefly there about the 140-pound division. Also just signed recently on April 20th of all days. Uh, Garcia versus Haney. What's your take on two things? Number one, Garcia mentally, his mental state, and two, the who do you think wins this fight?
Well, I think that Haney is a talented kid. He's strong, but he's fighting a guy in Devin Haney who's a beast.
Mhm.
Now, Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, good puncher, but I don't think he can hang out with a guy with that kind of a pedigree. If you saw Teofimo Lopez in his last fight in the
Mhm.
Garden, this guy couldn't fight, but he ran all night, and Teofimo Lopez was lost. He almost lost the fight, in my opinion. But
Right.
those kinds of things, you have to make adjustments. You got to adapt. And I just don't think, like you said, I appreciated Ryan Garcia stepping away from the game when he was suffering with some. We were all suffering from the pandemic and what's going on in the world
Mhm.
today, and sometimes you get overloaded, right? And
Right.
he stepped away. I appreciate that. And when he came back, he fought the Gervonta Davis, who is a tough guy, but he caught Ryan Garcia with a shot you can't get up from. So Garcia didn't lose any respect for me. He just got caught with a shot where you can't get back up. And so, but he lost. And so
Mhm.
now they're putting him right back into this fight with Devin Haney, probably one of the best 140 pounders there. So I
Right.
don't think it's going to turn out too well for him, but he's a good puncher. He's a tough kid. He's in good shape. And, that's the game. That's what happens.
I think you have to give Ryan Garcia credit. Out of the four that are in that division, in that kind of top tier, he's the only one willing to fight at that point. He when he went against Gervonta, he gave up a bunch. He gave up a bunch. He, nothing didn't matter. He wanted that fight. So I give him credit for that. I think he does. I just don't think skill wise, and mentally he'll be able to hold at this point. I don't
At that
think so.
level, at this level. See, that's
This level, yeah.
he's entering into the A level of boxing. That's the cream of the crop. Those guys, they're not easy. They find the openings. They make you make mistakes. That's what Devin Haney does, and a host of other guys in that division.
They do. And then right after that fight, you'll be looking to your division again, the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury, Orlando Usyk. If it does come off, that was a serious cut that he took, and I think that's a concerning thing. That comes up right down the pipe May 18th. What do you think there?
I was very disappointed in Tyson Fury in the Ngannou fight. He didn't fight. I don't know whether he didn't train or what it was. I heard he had a great training camp, but he didn't do anything. When you fight a guy with that inexperience like Ngannou has, aside from the cage and all he's done, you got to back him up. You have to get him off his feet, backing him up, bang him, make him get tired. You got to bang him. You got to stick that jab. You got to keep him befuddled. He didn't do that. He tried to box him, and then he let him out there. He got dropped down there, and it went to decision. They gave it to Fury. I mean, it was a close fight, but I could have thought really Ngannou could have won that fight.
So overall,
Usyk and Fury, it's who comes to the fight for Fury. Is it a healthy Fury? Is his brain? Is he busy? Is he active? Is he into the fight? If that's the case, then we're going to see a great Fury, and Usyk's not going to have a chance. But if it's Fury who's just getting the money grab, which is going over the Riyadh again and getting some payday over there, I can imagine, then we don't know. So that's the problem with these guys right today, is that we don't know who's going to show up. Fury's a great fighter. You saw he's done so many things. When he beat Klitschko that time early on, even though Klitschko was a little bit older, he was still a great fighter. And he slowed down the pace. He feinted himself. He kept feinting, and Klitschko didn't know what to do.
Right.
And if he can do that with Usyk, Fury will win.
Where do you rank Tyson Fury?
With the best guys in the whole history? I don't know. I think we have to wait for a while. I don't, he gets the job done. That's for sure. He controls the pace. He lands the shots. Listen, he's the guy there, right? I mean, he's really, he's undefeated, right? Basically.
Basically, yeah.
And so he's doing well. We have to wait and see where he goes from here. I don't think there's a lot more left for him to do. He's done a lot. And these guys are getting young and stronger now. I don't think he wants to fight that Chinese guy. Who's that guy? Zhang. Zhilai Zhang.
Yep, Zhang.
And but there's other good young guys coming up too. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but ultimately in the history books, how do you think they remember Tyson Fury? He was the dominant one of this era. But do you think he has to fight Anthony Joshua to really solidify that?
I think it should happen. I think that's a fight I'm waiting for. I've been wanting for that fight for a long time, and I think that's an interesting fight. And they're both flawed. They're both, fell behind. They all didn't show up at times, and sometimes you get rich and you lose that hunger. The hunger is a big thing in the fight game, in any kind of game, really. But he didn't really perform at his level. He lost to Andy Ruiz, and then he came back and beat him. But it was a really lackluster fight. We want to see, like in MMA, one thing I got to tell you about you guys is you fight it out. It's a fight. These guys in boxing, I mean, in most divisions, in the light heavyweight division, it's not the same anymore for some reason.
Why do you think they're lacking so much? We briefly touched on the promotion issue where you can't get the fights together. I'm a strong believer that you have to be invested in a fighter in order to pay for them to watch them. People want to see Gerry Cooney because of the buildup behind him, who he was fighting, and it made for good fights. You don't get that nowadays. What do you feel that you would do if you were put and say, "Hey, Gerry, here's all the money. Let's make boxing back to where it is."
Well, I mean, look what Riyadh's doing. They brought like I don't know how many heavyweights over there. It was almost like they had their own heavyweight tournament. They have the golf. They own the golf now. They own the soccer. They went over and they picked up boxing, and they brought a dozen heavyweights over there to fight it out. That's doing something different. That's making a change. I think that you really got to, I think that the zone and Top Rank and all the other PBC, they're all got guys, and we got to get them to fight. And I think that it's being forced to happen, and we're getting them. In all the other divisions, we most certainly are getting those fights. We have Benavidez is got to fight Charlo next. Munguia is up in the top. David Morale is another great guy from Cuba. We're seeing them. They're starting to come together. Not as fast as we want, but let's face it. Listen, so years ago, there wasn't so many sports as there are now. Now you got to fill football, baseball, basketball, soccer. You got, so many different things to fit in. It's not as easy anymore, in my opinion. But, the big ones happen. And we're seeing that in Riyadh. And we're seeing who's going over there to fight. We got Beterbiev against Dmitry Bivol going over there. Now that's a sensational fight. I can't even pick the winner. I want to pick Beterbiev, but Bivol is a beast too.
Yeah, but I think by just throwing the money to them, though, does that hurt in the long run?
It might take away the fight in the fighter.
That's what I mean.
Listen, Tyson Fury got $50 million to fight Ngannou. What do I want to get run tomorrow for? For what reason do I want to get run tomorrow? So that can be something. I don't know. I think he's talked about it, that he's in it for the money grab. He wants the money now. Right. Now, listen, I think Joshua, too, he got too much money. Lost the fight. Fighters come from, rough, difficult backgrounds where they got to fight out of poverty. They got to fight, and they got to fight, and they have the rage about them. After a while, that goes away, and these guys have been around for a while, and I think we need to put the fights on, see who's going to fight.
And do you expect any kind of these promotions to come together? For some reason, it seems like they just can't get one fight together. Back when you were fighting, every now and then Don King and Bob Arum would get together. It just seems that there's so much personal animosity between these guys. Do you ever see that coming back?
Well, I think Bob Arum and Don King, they had two. Don King was the heavyweight guy, and Arum was the guys in the lower weights. Now, of course, King had some lower weights too, but it was a great job. That you can't believe the job that you can believe it. Top Rank has done in boxing, but I think the public's going to demand it. They're going to demand the fights to take place, and we're going to see them.
Now, the one person that you brought up too was who I think right now is probably the biggest money guy out there, which is Canelo Alvarez. Him not being able to choose an opponent, and then he may fight Benavidez, then he's not, then he might fight Munguia, then he might fight Charlo. Does the boxing fan ever get sick of that?
Well, I imagine so. I mean, but listen, he's a guy who's done everything that's been asked of him. He talked about from the beginning of time, I want to make history from Mexico. And he's done that. He's fought everybody coming up from Islam de Lara. There were so many great fights. He just beat Charlo easily. So he's doing it. Obviously, he's a smart kid. He's making a plan. They've done very well. They've been very successful. Sure, I would like to see him fight David Benavidez. I would like to see him fight Munguia. But, is it going to happen yet? I don't know. We have to wait and see. It's coming. It's coming for us. He's not leaving yet until he has one of those to seal his greatness.
So you do think he'll eventually fight David Benavidez?
Let me tell you something. I love David Benavidez. I couldn't believe what he did against Demetrius Andrade, who nobody wanted to fight him. Nobody wanted to fight Andrade
No.
and Benavidez too, because they didn't know how great he was. When he fought Demetrius Andrade, wow, he just spanked him like a little baby. And then you see the guy that's out there. He's tough, strong. He gets stronger as the fight goes on. He doesn't tire. That's a beast in my name. I want to see that guy fight. I don't want to see him move up to 175. I don't think he's fit for that. But anybody at 168, he's the king in my mind.
So last question. Canelo Alvarez fights David Benavidez, let's say in a perfect world. Who does Gerry Cooney say walks out there as the best 168 pounder?
David Benavidez.
You do.
Yeah. I think that we've seen some wear and tear in Canelo. He's had great fights. He's not looked good in a couple of them. He has a lot of wear and tear on his body. He's done everything. And I would like to think he'll take that fight. But there's another tough guy that no one's looking at, David Morrell. He's at
Yeah.
160 right now. He's only got 10 fights, or 9 fights, or something like
Yep.
that.
9
That's a
fights.
real beast. Real
He
beast.
doesn't have double-digit fights yet, and that which shocked me when I thought he'd been around for a little bit, but evidently he had a very extensive amateur career. Can really punch. He really can punch, and he's a guy that he's almost like Matias in the 140-pound division, where he's kind of avoided. They don't want to. That's a guy where high risk, little reward. Not much on reward.
But then you get a guy like David Benavidez that comes along and says, "Let me take it." I mean, he was looking to go up to light heavyweight to fight Bivol if he couldn't get Canelo. Then he got Andrade. Andrade saw some flaws in him, I thought he did, and so he signed to fight. And Andrade's a great, great technician, but when you got
Yep.
a guy that strong putting that pressure on you, there's nowhere to go.
No, he kind of was. He kind of was getting beat up from the get go. I mean, he did all right, and then once that tidal wave came, it
It
was
was
over.
like half of the first round, Andrade looked like super,
Yeah,
and then once Benavidez picked it up, it was over.
yeah, it wasn't good. But Gerry, as always, it's great to have you on.
Nice to
Where
have
can
you on.
people
Thank you.
where can people see you now?
Well, I'm on Sirius XM Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 4 on channel 156. It's a great program. We talk all about all the fights. We bring everybody on. Uh, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. So listen, it's a great world we're in. Boxing is doing terrific. I'm so glad to be on with you today. I got a busy life. I'm doing a lot of fun things. I'm doing some training myself. I make a lot of appearances. I have a lot of fun. I have a great family.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the guys that had all that wear and tear in their lives and are struggling a little bit. I really, in some ways, Don King wouldn't give me the fights I wanted to prepare me for Holmes, so I didn't take that wear and tear. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think. I mean, I got
Right.
hit a couple of times, but I'm in great shape unless you talk to my wife. My wife was. No, everything is great, and it's nice to
Well,
be on with you.
Gerry, I'll tell you when we met there, you couldn't have been more of a gentleman, absolute professional. You are very, today this was my fault. I didn't realize that the
So
link was
good, so
wrong.
good,
That
no
is my
problem.
fault. I'd love to have you on again to discuss
Anytime.
the fights where we could have. I want you on a little bit more because I mean, the people who don't realize they look at you as like a legendary guy, but you're a really great guy. I mean, I had a great time talking to you. No, and I'm not just saying that because you're here with me. I
Listen,
told one of my cousins was just telling me a story how he saw you at he saw the fight with Holmes at a closed circuit in Newark, and it was a big Irish tendency there. And they came out and they said, you know what? They'll never give it to the Irish. And and he was an Irish guy. He had a little too much to drink. But either way, a great guy. And I told him I couldn't believe it. I said, Sean, I'm talking to Gerry Cooney today.
that's so great. But listen, Larry Holmes was a great fighter. Doesn't get the credit he deserves for all the
Yeah.
great things he did. And I love being with him. We're good friends. We travel a lot. We make appearances. We, try and bring people together
Mm-hmm.
and laugh and joke. And So I'm glad to be with you today, and hello to
Yeah,
all your fans out there. And I'd love to come back anytime you want me. Okay?
we'll have you, and I promise you, I will get it right the next time. I couldn't,
No,
I couldn't believe it. I was
listen,
texting.
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good.
That's what happens with this TV, this internet
It's a,
stuff. You never know.
it's
But
all
either
good.
way, Gerry, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on. I will
Thank
look
you.
forward to having you on again as the fights draw closer.
You
That way
bet.
we can see exactly what's going on.
It would be great. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Gerry. Appreciate
See you,
it.
pal. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.